Before starting untouchability, let me tell you that here onwards, that is your untouchability, the other backward classes, backward castes, and so on, whatever is now to be discussed in this topic, are all part of chapter number 5, but they have been included in chapter number 3 because it is related to caste system. So untouchability is a practice observed against untouchables because they occupy the lower position in the caste hierarchy and pursue defiling occupations. So untouchability is a practice which is done against untouchables because they occupy the lowest position in the caste hierarchy, and whatever work that they are doing are degraded works. Exclusion, humiliation, and subordination are three main dimensions of untouchability. So the untouchability has three main dimensions, that is exclusion, humiliation, and subordination. The untouchables are the ones born against whom the upper caste or the twice born people of a particular class are considered to so impure that even their touch pollute the higher caste. So these untouchables, अछूत जिन्हें कहते हैं, these untouchables are once born people, एक जाति, द्विजा और एक जाति. So they are assumed to be born once, and they are so polluted that if a higher class, that is the twice born people, the Dvijas, if they touch them, they get polluted. It is the severe exclusion and discrimination of society practiced against members of caste located at the bottom of the purity pollution scale, and the untouchables are the lowest in the hierarchy, in the strata of caste system in India. They are much below the fourth category, that is the Shudras, unse bhi niche. They are not allowed even to touch the people falling in caste hierarchy, that is Brahmin, Kshatriyas, Vaishya and Shudras. And the untouchables, they are totally excluded, they are totally discriminated, and they are totally bound to touch any of the upper castes, including the Shudras. They are severely punished if eventually touched with members of other castes, and if they by mistake touches any member of the upper caste, then they are punished brutally. And whosoever has been touched would have to go through elaborate purification rituals. And the person who has been touched by an untouchable, he has to go through a severe purification procedure to get the sins because of touching of by an untouchable, get rid of such sins. In South India, the notion of purity and pollution due to shadow or merely the vision or sight of an untouchable is still prevailing. In South India, even now, the untouchability is prevailing. Even the vision of an untouchable, or even if the shadow of an untouchable falls on a upper caste person, he is said to get polluted. Not just to the avoidance or prohibition of physical contact, but to a much broader set of social sanctions. And there are certain social sanctions that will be applied on the untouchable whose shadow or whose vision has polluted the upper caste. The untouchables are the people who are kept outside the caste hierarchy. They are kept outside the caste hierarchy. Means all the four castes are said to be upper, and they will be the lowest caste, and they will be set apart from the four main castes. Owing to wrong committed by their ancestors in the past, they were declared untouchables, and since then the enigma or label of humiliation was stuck to their forehead. Because of certain wrong deeds of the ancestors of such persons, they were declared as untouchables, and since then they are being labeled of this humiliation. Okay? That wrong deed may be any wrong practice that had made a person to fall in the category of untouchable. There are outcast individuals still living in states of Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, etc. And these were because of some wrong deed, the person was outcasted, and that outcasted person fell in the category of untouchable. So it was not only the lower caste, the Shudras, who were put in the category of untouchables. Any outcasted person was categorized as an untouchable, and such outcasted persons are yet living in the states of Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka and many other states. The untouchables are different from low caste, as it is the extreme type of social exclusion the untouchables endure with. For example, they were prohibited from drinking water. The untouchables have always been excluded. They were prohibited from drinking water from public wells or participation in collective religious worships, social ceremonies and festivals. They had to take off their caps, carry footwear in their hands, standing with bowed heads, not wearing clean or bright clothes. So they used to, whenever they come in contact with the upper caste, they were forced to take off their caps. Whenever they were facing upper caste person, they had to take out their footwear and put them in hands, standing with bowed heads, not wearing clean or bright clothes. These were some of the publicly visible acts of self-humiliation or to show themselves as inferior. So in this way they were humiliated, and these acts that they were performing showed them to be inferior. The etymology once used for untouchables till its abolition is used today while addressing criminals or miscreants in the form of abuses. Whatever words, whatever terms, whatever abuses were there for the untouchables, these abuses after the abolition of untouchability in the country are being used. Those words are being used for addressing the criminals or miscreants in the society. So the different dimensions of untouchability are: number one, exclusion. Exclusion is unique and not practiced against. It is a form of social exclusion. Exclusion is your social exclusion. Other groups, for instance, prohibited from sharing drinking water from public sources or participating in collective religion, worship, social ceremonies, festivals, entering temples. Means they were deprived, they were not allowed to participate in any sort of collective religious worship, social ceremonies, festivals, and were prohibited from sharing drinking water from all those sources which were meant for general public. So they were not even categorized under the category of general public. Hamlets of the untouchables were often outside the villages or towns, far away from other people. Their residences were very far away from the village or from the town, where no person can reach. They had no social interaction with Brahmins, and with Brahmins, total boycott was practiced by the Brahmins for the untouchables. Then the second dimension is humiliation, or humiliation and subordination. Untouchability may lead to forced inclusion in a subordinated role, such as being compelled to play drum at religious functions. So they were humiliated. The untouchable was not allowed to attend the religious functions, but they will play the drum outside the premises where the religious ceremony is taking place, and performing publicly visible acts of self-humiliation. Subordination is an important aspect in practicing untouchability. They are called all sorts of derogative names such as chandals, etc. And they are always considered to be subordinates. Subordinate in the sense the lowest part of the society. They are called all sorts of and they are considered as a stigma of society. And the third dimension is exploitation. Untouchability is always associated with economic exploitation of various kinds, most commonly through the imposition of forced unpaid or underpaid labor or confiscation of property. So exploitation, these untouchables were always economically exploited. Either they were paid less or they were paid nothing, but were forced to do the work, and their properties were confiscated.